You know, when it comes to building a company or job creation, risk takers play a vital role. Entrepreneurs can never be certain their ideas will be successful. And that's why Governor Rick Scott praises their spirit.
Hi, I'm Governor Rick Scott. Welcome to Florida. For years, Florida has been recognized as an excellent location for young businesses. As a former business owner myself, I understand the contribution entrepreneurs make to job creation and economic growth. I remain focused on making Florida the #1 state for business. In fact, small businesses in Florida create the majority of new private sector jobs and employ nearly 3 million Floridians. Whether your company is big or small, there are a lot of reasons to open or expand your business in our state, and we continue to work to create an environment where Florida citizens can find jobs. We will continue to lower taxes and eliminate burdensome regulations. And so far, we have completely eliminated the corporate income tax for nearly 2/3 of Florida businesses that were paying it. That money can now go to helping those businesses grow and create jobs. That is my top priority. So I hope you consider growing or starting your company in our great state.
And we're joined by the type of entrepreneurs Governor Scott is referring to. First of all, Ryan Sullivan, Product Development Coordinator at TV Goods. At the same time, he has organized Startup Weekend and Social Media Day for fellow Tampa Bay entrepreneurs. Also joined by Sjouwerman, the founder and CEO of KnowB4. Stu is not a newcomer to startup companies. He has a long history in the IT and software industry. Linda Olson is co-founder of Tampa Bay WaVE, a nonprofit organization focused on supporting startup ventures through operation of a shared workspace. And Steve Tingris, CEO of Prospect Smarter, Inc., a leading provider of technology-driven marketing systems, also the founder of Enthusum.com, and he'll explain exactly what that means in just a minute, also a board member of Tampa Bay WaVE. So thank you all for being here. Stu, it seems to me you're the veteran of the group. That doesn't mean you're older than anyone else here. But I think you have a fascinating story. Back in the late 70s, you were a teacher.
Yep.
And decided to take the leap into something else.
Retrained myself in IT. That was the industry of the future.
And were you on your own from the start, or did you work for someone else?
Well, I started a company with 4 friends of mine to begin with. We did member administration for nonprofits, like Greenpeace. And from there, that company grew, it got sold, and 4 more companies ensued.
And what you're doing now with KnowB4, this is about privacy, protecting your privacy on the internet, which is a huge issue.
True. It's for businesses. Businesses are being hacked all the time. You've seen in the papers. What we do is we train employees to be secure on the internet. We give them anti-hacker training, let's call it. Mm-hmm. It's called security awareness training.
And because you could, it's a huge issue. A lot of people get personally hacked, and we'll talk more about that. But it was about assessing a need and going for it, and fulfilling that need, right?
We found that there's an incredible market that is underserved and needed a good product.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you're in a different stage in your career. So you're working for TV Goods. Yes. You work for Kevin Harrington, who will be joining us later this week at some point. Kevin is the president and CEO, founder. So at this point, you're working for another company, but you still have your sights set on being an entrepreneur yourself. At some point in your career, you want to have your own company, or with partners have a company.
Yeah, and I hope that working right now under Kevin, having as much experience as he has, I learn from him and from the company, and I take those experiences and I go on to do my own venture one day.
And so you're involved right now with 2 things. You've organized a Startup Weekend and Social Media Day. These are 2 different events. Explain what they are.
Yes, Startup Weekend is a global organization, and we have the Tampa Bay license. I along with 2 other people, organize a 54-hour event that starts on Friday evening and goes to Sunday night. And the idea is that we're all action, no talk. So it's about getting people together, getting like-minded individuals, it could be from any background, coming together with ideas and helping them build that throughout the weekend So, the first time I did it, I was very surprised to see that pitches, someone could have just an idea on Friday night, and then with the help of mentors and speakers and volunteers, they're all able to work throughout the weekend and create a viable product by Sunday evening.
How many hours is it?
54 hours.
Are there meal and bathroom breaks?
Yes, there's as many bathroom breaks as you want, and we try and have food as much as possible, along with all the caffeine drinks, coffee you need. Yeah, people are really into it. They're really excited about it, and the most fun part is to see what comes out at the end of the weekend. One company was actually able to create revenue by the end of the weekend, so it really does incite enthusiasm and creativity and make businesses happen.
And Linda, if I understand correctly, Tampa Bay WaVE also brings together like-minded people, entrepreneurs, yes?
Yes. We're a by entrepreneur, for entrepreneur nonprofit. We've got over 86 different web and mobile tech startup companies under the membership today.
Give me that number again. That's impressive.
86. And I know we've just kind of scratched the surface here thanks to events like Startup Weekend. We've got a number of folks in our group who are serial entrepreneurs, much like Stu, who've been there, done that. They offer a lot of peer support to some of the folks who are a little bit greener in their early stage. So it's a lot of peer mentoring. We also opened a co-working space to give folks a better chance to build community and share resources and information with each other. And we're in the process of trying to build out some more networks around capital and mentorship and talent and things like that, so that we can really provide these entrepreneurs with what they need to grow great businesses in Tampa Bay.
So Steve, if you're a board member, you're obviously buying into the idea, yes, I'm an entrepreneur, but I need to mentor others who want to do something similar.
Mentoring is definitely a part of it, but just being a part of the energy that's happening and being around people that are like-minded, that are stepping out and doing just unbelievable things is as much a part of it for me personally as the mentoring part, for sure. So there's a lot of opportunity to just work with great people.
Your company's been around for 9 years, but your signature product came along 3 years ago in 2009. Explain.
That's right. We launched Enthusiasm.com at the demo conference in 2009, and originally intended for it to be its own company, and ended up keeping it within Prospect Smarter. But Enthusiasm.com is a self-service platform that allows businesses to create marketing campaigns to the most influential segment of their market. And nowadays, with social media doing what it's done, the meaning of word of mouth has changed quite a bit. And so what our systems and technology do is allow people to connect with and win the hearts and minds of the people that are most influential for their brands online.
We've been talking a lot about technology companies, but are there other opportunities in other sectors for entrepreneurs, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, we talk a lot about technology here and in the community because that's what we're focused about. But during my day job, we talk about products, we talk about different aspects of people's lives that are having problems, and we're trying to solve them with everyday solutions, being products. We work in the infomercial world, so the products you see on TV are problem-solving products, and that's what we're looking for a lot of the time. So.
The Tampa Bay area has been referred to as the infomercial capital of the world, and why do you think that's happened?
Well, there's a lot of reasons. We have a lot of companies that know what they're doing here. Kevin's been a leader in the industry for a while, and he stayed in Tampa throughout his career. There's a lot of production studios, a lot of houses, and it's a small industry overall compared to other industries, but there's a lot of energy here and a lot of excitement, and just like we talk about here, sharing with one another and having that energy, they build off of each other, they help each other out when it's needed, so it's kind of blossoming here.
Part of your job, as I understand it, is to evaluate the different products that may in fact be promoted in one of your infomercials. Is that right? What's that process like?
The process is...
And you got pitched all the time, I'm sure, on this stuff, right?
Well, just being associated with Kevin, people come up to me and say, how do I get my product on TV? And there's a lot of different criteria that you have to understand in order to determine if it's right for TV. It's a fluid process, so there's no yes or no definite here or there, but there's criteria. You want to see that wow demo. Everyone remembers the OxyClean or something that happened and you fix it right on air.
Right.
That's what you're looking for. You're also looking for a real problem, and it's just solving a real problem for these people. And are people engaged with this problem? Are they going to understand it? And the simplicity of the product. There's a lot of things that go into it, but it is product by product.
And Stu, your business is problem solving as well, even though it's different than a cleaning product or whatever. it is being proactive against cybercrime, which is running rampant, is it not? And it's too easy. You gave me a great example before we went on the air of a fatal mistake someone might make. Good-looking young man comes into an office.
Good-looking young man comes into an office.
Sounds
Sounds like a joke, right?
Were there a rabbi and a priest involved? Or no. Okay, all right.
He walks up to reception and he says, hey, I have an appointment with HR, but I spilled coffee all over my resume in the car. Could you do me a great big favor, pretty please, and print my resume? Here's a thumb drive. So what do you think that the girl at reception is going to do?
Of course.
She's going to take the drive and stick it in the PC and print the resume.
Right.
Guys, gets his thumb drive back, but in the meantime, that PC is now infected. There's malware on that PC. There's a keylogger that sits on that machine now that looks at what she types. Next time she logs in, the bad guys have her username and password, and they're in the network. That's called social engineering.
So when you do, great term, and I want to talk about your former partner, a former skilled hacker himself, right?
Yeah, partner now, former skilled ex-hacker.
Yeah, I said this is like the movie Catch Me If You Can, which was Frank Abagnale Jr., who was the master counterfeiter and then ended up working for the government to show them what phony bonds and bills look like.
Yeah.
So it's a similar story.
Similar story. Kevin Mitnick and I were both mentioned in a Wall Street Journal article late last year. We got in touch with one another and we decided to create a really good kind of next generation course. It's called Security Awareness Training. And we train employees in both profit and non-profits to not fall for any hacker attacks, which could be clicking on links or downloading attachments that are malicious, that sort of thing.
Linda, this is a great idea, and it's a need that's very current and needed. So when you work with entrepreneurs and they're trying to develop their ideas, you need help. You need someone to bounce ideas off. Do you think this is a viable idea? So I'm sure there's a lot of give and take with questions like that, is there not?
Definitely in our group, a lot of people have tried a lot of things, sometimes multiple companies, so there's a lot of best practices that they can leverage off of each other, but honestly, the best feedback is to take it out into the market and find out what the market thinks, and that's what we really try to encourage our folks to do from the beginning, is to make sure this is really a product that the market wants and that you're solving a problem better than what's already out there.
So how do you just test the idea, you put it before a group of people? That costs money though, you can't do it for free.
It depends. There's a lot of tools that are coming out there that allow you to present your products and ideas in front of a large, audiences, thanks to again, technology solutions that are out there. I don't mean to say technology is the only path for some of these startup companies, but everything's kind of going to technology, as Stu said, and
Here's an idea for a new startup.
Right.
A company that helps new startups find out if their product is needed or wanted.
There actually are some things out there. You can actually identify what your target market should be demographically, location, and you can actually put something into their hands and get real-world feedback, objective feedback from people. I always tell people it's great if your mom likes your product, but you really need to find, objective evidence.
Well, it depends on who your demographic is, who your target audience is.
Right.
Steve, I want to talk about raising capital. For any venture, you need money.
Yes.
So that seems uncomfortably. Going to ask, unless you have it yourself, and deep pockets, you have to go ask and solicit investors to get capital. Tell me how that process works, and at what point are you ready to do that?
Well, I think you need to have some validation that you've got something for real, and certainly nowadays, investors, they've always been savvy, but with the way the internet has evolved, they know what they're looking for, and a model and a plan that can make money, that has a very distinct and defined audience with a path to getting to those buyers is extremely important. So to Linda's earlier point, finding evidence that you actually do have a product or a service that's in demand, that has a market, I think is the first step. From there, then you're closer to being ready to go out and seek funding.
So when you did this more than 9 years ago, how difficult a process was it?
When we first started, we were just kind of kicking off post the internet bubble, and so it really it was tough. Getting funding was tough. But if you have a product that you're confident in, and you have evidence, and we had some customers which helped, you've got a good chance of getting somebody's attention.
So I guess my question too is, once you do get sufficient funding to at least start, do you have to prepare yourself for some lean times along the way?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. We get through WaVE a lot of people that will, when they're putting initially maybe their plan together about how much they need, a big chunk of it is, this is how much I need to pay myself. That's a tough sell.
Right.
There aren't many investors out there who are interested in paying your mortgage. They're interested in building, providing you with the resources that you need to build a company.
Yeah, you don't start saying, yeah, well, my annual salary is going to be $250,000 a year.
That's right.
When you're just starting a company.
Yeah,
so how's Enthusum changed the nature of your company and made it more successful?
Enthusum for us has been a big change, because prior to Enthusum, most of what we were doing was reaching out to bigger companies and doing very specific types of programs that were custom for our clients. So big ticket, generally, programs. Enthusum lets businesses of any size go out and use the technology and the strategies that we've developed for clients like National Geographic, Home Shopping Network, and other bigger brands. It allows smaller companies to go do that. And so for us, it was very different, because the price point on Enthusum is very low, and so we can't...
Regardless of the size of the client?
It is, yeah. The idea behind Enthusum is, well, most marketing is about getting a message in front of as many people as possible. The reality is that some version of the 80-20 rule applies in most markets, where 20% of the market represents 80% of the potential, and in many markets it's a 95-5 rule or a 99-1 rule. And so the challenge becomes, how do you get the attention of that 1% that could make the biggest difference? And the signal-to-noise ratio now online and just about every media has gotten to the point where standing out and getting attention is very, very difficult. And so Enthusum allows companies to create truly personal communications to markets of one, where you can literally, versus getting in front of everybody, create tailored campaigns to individuals to try to open doors. And this nowadays is taking a very significant twist, because individuals, especially individuals with big Facebook followings and big Twitter followings, can be extremely influential. And so being able to connect with those individuals and win their hearts and minds, where they're going to share with their friends and followers, can have a very, very dramatic impact on the overall effectiveness of any marketing campaign that you do. So much of what we do and what Enthusum allows businesses to do is to connect with that 1% or 2% that, we did a campaign recently where we targeted 350 individuals that had a combined Facebook following of over 5.8 million people.
Unbelievable.
And as a result of connecting with just those 350 people, we got tens of thousands of people to respond to the campaign.
Does your program search for people with those huge connections? Is that what it does?
That's a part of it, for sure. I mean, so we identify the people who have influence online based on the size of their social followings, and then we create communication strategies, online and offline communication strategies to connect with those individuals, to get the attention of those individuals and to win them over.
Wow. I have a few Facebook friends. I wonder if you're targeting me. I don't know. Ryan, as a young guy, looking forward to becoming a true entrepreneur, this notion of saying, Mr. Robertson, I would like you to invest in my company, and here's why. Are you comfortable with being able to make that pitch when that day comes?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really about having a belief and a passion for what you're doing and understanding what the opportunity is. A lot of people don't take the time to plan, and there's a thing called a business plan that people forget to do sometimes. And I've gone through school and I've learned how to put all the parts of a business plan together. So when I know that I have something that is of value to an end consumer, I have 100% confidence that I'll be able to go to someone and ask them for their money with, confidence that I'm going to have a return on their investment.
Your degrees, both bachelor's and master's, are in entrepreneurship, are they not?
Yes, they are.
Didn't even know that was a major. I honestly
hear
did
that,
not.
I hear that more often than not, actually.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more prominent today because the way I look at it and the way I view it is that I have a toolbox now of things that I can use to build a business. And I wasn't just focused on one area of the business. So I know a little bit about finance, marketing, just general skills on how to use business and philosophies of business. And I can use all those things and tailor them to what I'm doing. So, for instance, I work in different products. So one might be a household cleaning product, and one might be, a car product, or a hair product, or a beauty product. And each way along the way, I use the tools to find out what market that is, what problem that's solving, and how do I get that message to the customer.
In fact, does it make your job more interesting that you're not fixed on one product?
Yeah,
or one type of product?
It does. It keeps you on your toes. It keeps you, relative and fun. It also becomes more challenging sometimes because you don't have as much experience in one area, so you need to rely on outside resources a lot more. So if I'm focused on, a cleaning product, like I said, you need to go to the experts and find out what they're saying about different cleaning products, the chemicals that are in it, the regulations by the government that you have to follow, and all those things would be easier if I was only focused on one thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative, a disadvantage, but it can be more complicated.
And I'm sure you look actively for customer reviews on these products, yes?
Absolutely. The customer has a voice now, whether it be on social media, whether it be on a website, a review-based site. They're allowed to speak their mind, and we encourage that because we want to hear what the customer has to say.
Provided it's good.
Even the
Stu,
bad.
It's a question. In fact, I've heard a commercial, I don't remember the name of the company, but it's regarding negative reviews that businesses get online. Because really, let's face it, you could write almost anything you want, good or bad. So if something that's, especially if it's not true, is written online, this one, again, I don't remember the name of the company.
Probably Yelp.
What is Yelp? Okay. The idea is we can get those negative reviews offline so people won't see them. That's not something your company particularly does, though.
No, there's more a PR issue. If negative reviews, there's a way to handle those. Obviously, the best way to handle that is deliver a great product and have really good, happy customers.
Right.
And negative reviews won't show. But no, that's not what we do.
I think most consumers know, though, that you can't rely on everything you read on the internet.
Really? I thought it was all true.
So I see shifts where people really are only trusting sources that they believe in. Either they personally know them or it's a trusted source from, something
Also, to your
else.
point before about having customer validation for your product, reviews are a great way. This product didn't work this way for me. I'd rather it work this way. And if you hear a trend in the customer and they're saying the same thing, maybe you should listen to that customer because essentially you're making that product for them, so you can make changes. We use it a lot to make changes in the product development side versus just the marketing end. Let's change the product so they get a good product home.
So don't be defensive about it. Take it as
take it-
constructive
exactly.
criticism. Right.
Yeah.
Stu, I want to go back to, Ryan's undergrad and postgrad entrepreneurship. You were trained as an educator, as a teacher. Yep. So there's something in here that made you an entrepreneur. Guts? Nuts?
It's both, but really, the way I see it now is how do I provide a really good service that helps people be successful in their own business? If you are providing something that will help other entrepreneurs be more successful, you have a pretty good chance of succeeding. But the real thing to do first is you have to do your homework. You need to survey, you need to do your research, find out what is needed and wanted. What is the price point that people expect to have to pay? You have to do positioning surveys. You need to find out how you have to present this product or service to your customer in the sense of Avis and Hertz. We're only number 2, so we have to work harder so you get a better product. That's positioning. You have to work all that stuff out. Marketing is truly incredibly important.
And when it came to capital investment in your enterprises, you did it on your own, yes?
We have been self-starting Actually, all of the times. It's kind of the
So
old-fashioned
let
way.
me ask you this. Okay, when you made the transition from teaching to owning your own company, what was your initial investment?
Time, because I had to retrain myself.
Yeah.
We were with 4 guys, and each of us threw in a lot of time, part-time, evenings, weekends, until it was viable enough to pay for a day job, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of the old-fashioned way, but you are forced in a discipline to be low-cost and quickly to be profitable.
To
And
operate very efficiently.
there is
Yeah.
something to say for that.
In the time we have left, I want to go around the table, and I want each of you to tell me why Tampa Bay and Florida, the ideal place to do business, why you wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Let me start.
Okay.
Because I started Sunbelt Software 15 years ago. We sold it in 2010. I walked out with an 8-figure number. I was retired for 5 days and found out that's not for me. And I'm reinvesting a whole boatload of money in a new company. This is a great area to be. It's good for entrepreneurs. It's easy to find employees in practically anything IT. And it's a great place to live, work, and play.
Well, thank you for reinvesting and not just sitting on that money. We appreciate it because it helps our economy. Linda?
Good.
You know, I was in Boston and New York for 7 years, and the startup community's up there. And when I came back to Tampa and found myself trying to build a business here, it wasn't really easy 4 or 5 years ago, but the opportunities are different. There are so many support organizations. The community is so strong. And we've got, you know, in our membership, I hear folks all the time, if they need to find talent locally, they can find it. It's a great place to be. The quality of life is so high. And if they need to recruit talent to Tampa Bay, no one turns down a move to Florida. So it's a great, it's a great place to build a business.
You agree, Steve? An easy sell for people to come and work here? Or do you have a workforce that's ready, willing, and able?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, just, you know, look outside, and it's a great place to live. But I think beyond that, the business community is just really warm and open, and we're used to interacting with people from everywhere. And so it's you don't have a good old boy network here. I mean, you got everybody who's genuinely interested in meeting with other people, welcoming them in, and finding out how you can work together. And it's just a great place.
Not
to
a
do
lot of
business.
jealousy and envy and keeping
at all.
secrets and that kind of
Not
stuff.
at all.
Okay, Ryan?
Yeah, I feel the same way. The community is becoming more vibrant and energetic and younger, and it's keeping people here. The reason we do these events like Startup Weekend and Social Media Day is to get the community together, to bring them, you know, the online world offline, to get people to do things and build things. And I think it's every day there's something new that we're attracted to and people are coming here to do. So it's just very exciting. There's always support from the community, from the mayor to, you know, local businesses. They always want to see these things happen. So you'll have open ears when you go to try and do something.
Sounds like a real positive vibe. I want to thank you all very much for being here with us this morning, all entrepreneurs. Coming up next, building a robust economy starts with strong leadership. You'll meet 2 prime examples in just a moment.